Everyone, welcome to the TC Lifestyle Fit Podcast. I'm your host, Tim TC Collins. I'm here with my main man, Keaton Hutchinson. You're a real estate agent at Keller Williams now, or PJ?
PJ Morgan Real Estate.
PJ Morgan,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does PJ Morgan treat you?
PJ's phenomenal.
PJ,
yeah.
okay.
Ryan and Susan over there take great care of us. They're
nice.
They're phenomenal. It's a smaller boutique style real estate brokerage, I would say, but you know, it's got more of that family feel. So
nice. I know. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the man. I know you're the best. You're the best at your craft. I know you started initially in the fitness industry, and you still have some connection with the wellness profession as well.
It's a lifestyle.
I see you on Facebook practicing your breath work. If you could talk about that a little bit here shortly, but tell us, how did you transition from like a full career in fitness into real estate?
Yeah. So I'll try to make this really short, but you know, I moved out on my own 1-bedroom apartment. I was really just kind of struggling to make ends meet. And, you know, at the time I was really, really passionate about health, fitness, and helping people. And I just got a little bit burnt out, you know, with trying to like give people the blueprint and really help. And, you know, sometimes, you know, people just aren't able to follow through the way they want to. I was really just struggling, you know, to make my payments. You know, I was barely getting by, maybe saving a couple $100 a month or something like that. And I actually had a friend that was working in the car business. He was about two minutes away from where I was living. And let me back up. As far as the gym goes, I actually had an opportunity to buy out that gym. And at that point in time, I just felt like it wasn't what I was supposed to do at the time. So I ended up not doing that, and the owner ended up closing down the gym. And that's what led me to connecting with my buddy that lived a couple minutes away in the car business. And he's like, dude, you don't know what you're doing. He's like, just come give this a shot. He's like, I'll take you under my wing. We'll allow you to kind of save some money and stuff, and we'll just see where that goes from there. So I did that for about 3 years.
Car sales. Okay, so from fitness to car sales, then.
Yeah, it was really just going from health, fitness, nutrition to really just like personal development, learning sales, learning leadership, all that good stuff. And I had a great career in the car business, and you know, I just started looking around, and I was like, this isn't exactly what I want my future to look like. You know, people weren't really taking care of themselves. I saw a lot of divorce, a lot of stress, a lot of lack of time freedom. So that's what really led me to leaving the car business, because I was making a really good income. I ended up like tripling my income being in the car business. And, you know, I saved my money for a couple of years knowing that wasn't what I wanted to do. And that's what allowed me to take that leap of faith into real estate, was just saving my income. And then from there, I actually I bought my first investment property and started my real estate business within about 24 hours of quitting that job. You know, really just, you know, betting on myself. And, you know, fast forward 4 years later, you know, I'm full-time in the real estate world, running my own business and doing the somatic breath work like we were talking about as well. So that's the short version, but it's just the natural progression of just progress, right?
How old are you, Keaton?
29.
29,
Yeah.
and you own property, and you're teaching other people how to own their own property as well. How does that make you feel? Like initially, when you purchased your first home property, how did that make you feel?
Well, I would say I actually flipped that one, so I don't own it still. But, but as far as just like getting in the real estate world, learning the investment side of things, I mean, it felt really good, because just nobody in my family had ever done anything like that. You know, so just show like my family, my siblings, I'm the oldest of 5, that it's possible and that you can do that. You know, felt really good. It was not an easy process. I was working on this flip with my dad, my business partner, about 10-12 hours a day for 4 months while trying to build my business. So it was actually a very stressful time in my life. But looking back, you know, I learned so much. You know, we didn't make a ton of money on it, but it was the experience, right? It's the experience. It's like, I know what to do now moving forward. So yeah, I think it feels really good.
That's amazing. Amazing. This is the man right here. Any type of profession that includes sales, where you need to present your your services or product to a group of people who need it. Sometimes you'll have months that are amazing, and then you'll have other months where it's somewhat challenging.
Yeah.
And it can create some stress to a certain degree. How do you mitigate those experiences in life as a leader in your field who is continually presenting your products and services to other people?
Yeah. How do I really deal with stress when it comes to all of that?
Yes.
I'm a biohacker by trade, so I love hacking the body, ice bath, cold plunge, fitness.
Talk about that, the cold plunge.
Yeah.
What is your philosophy on cold plunging? 'Cause I remember watching a documentary with my daughter called Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. And there was a segment where he was doing some cold plunging. He went out into the Arctic Sea and swam like 250 meters in this water is ridiculously cold, dangerous cold. And then he was also doing some work in the sauna where he would transition from extremely cold environment to warm or hot environment to boost his immune system. What are some of your perspectives on that? Is that something everybody should do?
I mean, it really depends on the person. I mean, to be honest with you, I really started cold plunging because I was just at a tough spot in my life. I was really numb to a lot of things, and it was like the thing that would get me out of that funk so that I could service my clients and do the things I need to do. But as far as the cold plunge in general, I mean, it's really testing like that mental muscle, right? Like you're in the fitness world, we're always building our bodies and the physical, but what about that mental muscle? Like what happens when you get hit with stress or adversity or rejection? Like, your mind is going to get really loud. It's like, oh, like maybe this isn't for me. Let me run from this. Let me like not deal with it. Let me procrastinate. And it just teaches you that like, I don't want to do this. Every bit of my body is saying, don't get in that cold water, but I know that it's good for me, right? And it's building that mental muscle, that mental toughness. So I think that's what's really making the ice bath, cold therapy, like that's what's making it really like hypeful. I would say like that's why the hype is really high. Is just people are seeing the mental benefits of it. They say that your dopamine gets spiked like a ridiculous amount. I want to say it's like
now, can you explain dopamine for those of you who might not know what dopamine is? A hormone produced in the body.
Yeah. Dopamine is just that feel good hormone that's produced in the body. Essentially, it's like when you make a sale or
feel great.
You
eat that cheeseburger.
Yeah, eat that cheeseburger. You get
too much dopamine from the cheeseburger.
Yeah,
just a little dopamine from the cheeseburger.
You get a kiss from your wife. Like dopamine just floods the body. It's that feel good hormone. So with cold plunge, I want to say like, don't quote me on this, but it's like a 200% increase in like as little as a couple minutes being in cold water. And like normally with like an energy drink or something like that dopamine, like it hits its spike really quickly and then you have a crash. But like with cold plunge, it's a nice steady increase,
sustained energy throughout the day,
all day, and there's no crash, there's no drop off with it. So I mean, it's a beautiful modality for a lot of things. And like you said, I mean, just inflammation, I mean, there's something called cold shock proteins too, where it releases cold shock proteins from your liver, like because it's in such a contracted state, and it's just like it boosts your immune system. It can boost your metabolism. There's a lot of benefits. We could spend probably the whole podcast just talking about cold therapy.
We could definitely do that. We could definitely do that. You have such a wealth of wisdom, man, that I appreciate, man. And I'm just enamored by you as a person. I remember on Facebook, just towards the end of the year, 2023, you posted that beautiful video, man. It was like a snapshot of all the your accomplishments from last year. I'm like, wow, that's when I reached out to him. I need to get him on this podcast so he can talk about some of those accomplishments and give us some perspective on living your best life. Because 2023, you did some amazing work. And you're carrying that positive energy over into this year. What are your words of wisdom to other people who are maybe getting started with something new, whether it's in marriage, business, with their health? What can you tell that person to maximize their potential in those areas they want to improve?
Yeah. Really,
one thing.
Really, 2023 was, I mean, I've always really worked on myself, but I really worked on myself in 2023. And I didn't just work on myself. I did what's called the inner work, you know? So, I mean, my advice for anybody listening to this is just continue to work on yourself. You know, like you can't give what you lack within. Right. So for me, 2023 was about cultivating a lot of like self-love, self-acceptance, you know, showing myself that I am truly enough. Because I mean, on the outside, it looks like I had all of that, but at a deep level on the inside, I lacked a lot of that. You know, I lacked a lot of compassion for myself. I still had a really harsh inner critic. And so I worked through a lot of that stuff. And now I'm just able to love people and have compassion and empathy on a whole nother level because I have that for myself. So like my advice, like the best thing you can do for me, Tim, is work on yourself. And the best thing that I can do for you is work on myself, right? That's like all we can really do. Because at the end of the day, that's all we can really control. So, I mean, that would just be my words of wisdom. It sounds so simple because there's a lot that goes into that. But just really work on yourself inside and out. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite professionals in the area of leadership is Jocko Willink. Do you know who Jocko is?
Yeah.
He has a Jocko podcast. He talks like this, and it's all dark. Tough guy, former Navy SEAL, and I just love listening to his lessons. And a quote he said, "If you take care of your gear will take care of you."
Yeah.
So many different directions you could relate that statement. You know, what is your perspective on that? Like, how do you, when you hear that statement, take care of your gear, and your gear will take care of you, what does that mean?
I think of the gear like your body, right? I think people forget that, you know, regardless of what your religious or spiritual beliefs are, I know at a deep level we are a spiritual being having a human experience, right? So when I hear take care of your gear, it's like, you know, take care of this temple, take care of the vessel, right? Like we only get one. You know, and I view my body like a Ferrari. You know what I mean? It's like you're not going to take that Ferrari to the gas station and put like cheap gas in it, right? It'll screw up the engine, right? You're going to put premium gas in that. You're going to eat the right food. You know, you're going to do recovery. You're going to do weight training. Like you're going to take care of this body, and not only take care of it just to be healthy, but also to like honor that body. Like it's a gift to be inside that body and have that body in good health, right? Because it's just so intelligent. Like we are just scratching the surface with how beautiful that gear is. And it's like most people just don't take care of it. Like they don't even think about it, right? We're drinking, you know, pop, and we're eating fast food for every meal. We're not exercising it. We're not giving it sunlight, and like we're wondering why it's falling apart. It has nothing to do with outside of us. It's these choices that we're making. So, you know, at the end of the day, you have to live in your body, right? This is how we experience our life, right? This is how, you know, you're able to touch things and hear things and feel things. You know, you're able to experience the power of your body being in the gym. You're able to be, you know, intimate with your partner through your body. Like you're able to experience this life through it. You're able to experience God through your body. And if you don't take care of it, you're disconnected. So when I hear that from you and from Jocko, I mean, that's what I think of. It's just like, you know, you got to take care of this thing. Otherwise your quality of life is going to be radically, you know, lower than it could be.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Like that's just, I know that's kind of deep, but that's, you know, when I hear that, that's what comes to my mind. It's like everybody has a Ferrari. It's just, do you view it as a Ferrari, or do you view it as a $500
Volkswagen?
You know, a $500 clunker that you just picked up, right? I would say a lot of people, they don't value themselves. They don't value that body like that. They view it as just another clunker that can be replaced. Whereas people like you and me, it's like, no, like, dude, I got a Ferrari, and there's nothing more valuable than this thing. Because if I don't have this Ferrari, I'm not here, right? And I'm not able to connect and relate and have this conversation with Tim right now. You know, I'm not able to, you know, love him and experience his presence, you know, with him if I'm not I'm not here and I'm not, you know, healthy in my body.
Right. That's so good.
Yeah.
And I love how you compared our bodies to a Ferrari.
Yeah.
And the fuel that we put inside of our bodies is important. Yeah. And I think a topic that we often skimp over is our gut health.
Yeah.
You're either in an optimal, steady state of health, or you're in a steady state of physical decline,
right,
depending on not even just like your diet. Right. Diet's one aspect,
right,
but your lifestyle as well.
Right.
But let's talk specifically about dieting. What are some skills you're working on right now to improve your diet and to optimize your health through nutrition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I keep it really, really simple, guys. And I'm sure Tim can attest to this. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's also so much information out there when it comes to health, fitness, nutrition that you're like, I don't even know where to start, so I'm just not going to do anything, right? And we'll just make it really simple. So for me, it's all about just sticking to whole foods.
Whole foods.
Like real food. Like I'm talking 1 to 5 ingredients. If it's in a package, or it can sit on a shelf for an extended period of time. Like, think about that. Like, if bacteria, if it's not going to go bad, if bacteria is not going to eat it, mold's not going to grow on it, like how's that going to fuel your body, right? So just whole foods. I'm a big believer in, like, I buy food based on value, not based off of price. You know, so I'm going to buy organic as much as I can. I even clean my organic produce just because if you're not growing it in your backyard, there's a lot of pesticides and just stuff on that we're putting in our body that's disrupting our hormones and our health. You know, I was at a health intensive in July, and this gentleman shared with me that most people are ingesting a credit card's worth of plastic every year, bro. Like, think
credit
about
cards worth of plastic. I never looked at it from that point of view. That's
think about that.
Alarming.
Think about how detrimental that can be over to your health over time, to your hormones, to all these different things, because we're always drinking out of plastic. You know, this water bottle is stainless steel. You want to drink out of glass or stainless steel. So we're eating out of plastic. I mean, these Starbucks cups, I mean, think about it. They look like cardboard, right? And I know I'm going off on a tangent a little bit, but you know, and I feel like some people are going to be upset with me, but these are things that people need to know. These Starbucks cups, right? They look like cardboard, but think about how hot that coffee is. If it was cardboard and paper is meant to absorb. So the fact that coffee being that hot is not being absorbed, that means there's a plastic layer inside that cup, and you're ingesting that every morning when you go to Starbucks. You know, like just these little things that we're not thinking about. We're just naive to the fact that these corporations and these companies and the government's going to take care of us and tell us all this stuff. A lot of them don't even know this stuff, so you got to do your own research. But going back to just overall health, I'm a big believer in, you know, just whole foods, you know, good quality water. You know, I'm talking spring water is the best water you can get, preferably from an actual natural spring, right? Which I know can be a little bit more expensive, but it's like, what is your health worth, right? You know, just movement. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's walking, it's running, it's weightlifting, it's yoga, it's dancing, whatever you can do that you enjoy, that you're just moving your body. And like sunlight, being out in nature is really underrated when it comes to our health. Like, that's where we come from, you know, and we sit in these buildings and at these desks, and you know, we have fluorescent lights all day. Like, these things are not good for us, right? When that's all we do. So my approach to health is more than just food, health, and fitness, right? Like it used to be. It's very holistic. You know, it's also managing your stress. You know, like, what is disease? So if you break apart the word disease, right, it's broken down into 2 parts. The prefix is dis, which is lack of, and then ease, right? So that's all it is lack of ease within your body. So people attribute it
lack of ease.
You know, like just they attribute it just to like sickness in the body, but you know, stress is a big part of that, right? And there's a delicate balance between, like, because stress can either make you right? Like it can either help you grow or it can kill you. So there's a delicate balance to stress. We need it, but we also like don't want it to be overbearing, like too much, right? Like one of my teachers in somatic breath work has a beautiful quote. He's like, stress is a question to your being, right? And the question answered is a new adaptive pattern, which is growth. And the question unanswered produces symptoms in the body as far as stress goes.
Wow. So
it's a delicate dance, it's a delicate balance in how you're dealing with stress. And so that's what really, you know, that's why ice bath, that's why health, that's why, you know, breath work and all these different modalities are coming up because people are just like tired of living in this stressful state. You know, we have more than we could ever imagine, right? Like we have all our basic needs met and people are still living from a place of stress, like they're being chased from a bear every day.
Interesting.
Right? Like think about that.
Wow.
Most people are operating all day, every day from the place of I am being chased by a bear and there's no external stressors.
Right.
But it's self-inflicted in the mind. Right? You know, and a lot of it is like, and that's what fuels this like grind hustle culture of like, let me just make more money. Let me just get more success. Let me just like get all these external things to not, it's because I think that those things outside of me will make all of that better. But the truth is that's an internal problem. The root cause is inside. It's an internal problem, which goes back to the best thing you can do for me is work on yourself, and the best thing I can do for you is work on myself, right? These are deep-seated issues, right? These are deep, and a lot of times people will be like, you know, I wasn't even looking for more money. I wasn't even looking for more success. If I become centered and I go into my heart, what I'm really looking for is, you know what? I want self-love. I want to feel like I'm enough, right? Maybe if I have that Ferrari or I make enough money, then I'll love myself and I'll feel like I'm enough. No, I just want freedom. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. I don't want the money. I just want to feel free, right? Like at the deepest level, these are core needs that are not being met. And so that's why you'll have people that build these billion-dollar companies and do all these things and they're unfulfilled, right? And that's where I was about a year and a half ago, where I just had this life that I used to journal about that I thought would make everything okay in my head and in my body and I'd feel good. And I was the most empty I'd ever been, and I had everything I thought I wanted in my marriage, my finances, in my health. I thought I was healthy. I wasn't healthy. I looked healthy, but I wasn't, right? Spiritually disconnected from myself and my creator. Like, and so it led me on this deep, deep inner journey of just like figuring out what my holes were. Like, what am I not seeing? What am I not understanding? And so what you saw with that 2023 recap, like it looks like a highlight reel, but dude, I'm telling you, it was a lot of ups and downs. Like there was not, most of the year was a lot, it was a lot more pain than a lot more joy. But you know, like pain, suffering, like it's also the gateway to God.
Man, come on.
You know?
That is the gateway.
It's the gateway, dude.
Man,
you know?
That's so good. Because we can either view our suffering as, you know, like a dead end. You know, our experiences of suffering in life can either produce a dead end, or it can put us in a situation where we're able to gain a positive evaluation of ourselves and what we are experiencing at that particular time in our life, and then take the appropriate action to move forward instead of being stuck in this state of paralysis.
Right.
That's exactly what happens when you are experiencing a challenge and you get scared. Instead of moving forward, you stay stuck in the same spot and you bury your gift and you never move forward. What I'm learning, my pastor and other mentors are teaching me, everything you need is found outside of yourself, and that you need to put your shoes on every day, get out there into the community. Start with your home first, because you need to serve your wife or husband, your kids. Then the next step is to get out into the community and make a difference. Right. If you aren't doing those things, you will feel stuck in life, because our primary goal or mission in life is to make positive connections with other people around us. Now, can you tell me, like, what is your greatest leadership lesson? There's so many, and you just gave us a wealth of wisdom about staying positive and moving forward and stick-to-itiveness, and being mentally and physically tough as we pursue our goals. What is one piece of advice you can give to someone out there who's watching our video right now to build a strong foundation with their leadership?
Really, I mean, again, it really starts with you, right? So cultivate that leadership within inside yourself. If you can't lead yourself, if you can't be disciplined, if you can't do what you say you're going to do for yourself, how are you going to do that for anybody else, right? And also, people are going to see that and feel that from you. They're like, Tim is telling me to eat my broccoli and like exercise and do all these things, but Tim's not walking the walk. And I will tell you that there's nobody I know in the fitness world in Omaha that does a better job of doing what he says he's going to do. Like, this dude is the real deal. Look at this man. Like, he's jacked.
Look
like
at this man.
He's in the gym. Like, he eats right.
I appreciate
he's in the community. He's teaching people. Like, you do what you say you're going to do. And that is a leader. Like, I don't have kids quite yet. My first daughter.
It'll be your greatest blessing when they come. I'm telling you now, like, the arrows in the hand of a warrior are your children.
Yeah.
It will be your greatest gift next to your wife, next to God, him giving you a children or a child. I promise you, man, it is your greatest gift. And you'll find out what I'm telling you. You'll figure out when your daughter is born. I remember just like yesterday, my daughter will be in high school this year. And my son, he'll be moving on to 8th grade. They're growing up. I remember when they were like this, to carry him around everywhere. Yeah. Man, I miss that. But what I love are the conversations I have sitting down with my teenage daughter. Obstacles throughout life for us as adults in parenting isn't easy. Yeah. But the conversations, watching my daughter grow into this young lady, man, and watching my son grow into this young man, and watching my wife just continue to nurture me and our kid. I'm telling you, if you were to ask me $1 billion gazillion or my family, taking my family every time. Yeah. Your kids are the greatest gift. So tell me one thing about, like, how do you feel about becoming a new father?
I'm ecstatic.
You're going to go crazy,
so
man.
Happy, dude.
It's going to change your life, man.
I'm so excited.
In a good way.
Yeah, so excited.
You will not be the same. When you, especially have a daughter, you will not be the same person. Yeah. Because think about this. Now, you're not just a husband. When you became a husband, your identity changed. You started doing things that husbands do. Now, when your child comes into the world, your identity changes again. I'm a father. Complete mind shift. You start doing things that fathers do. Yeah. Like, my whole mindset, when I became a husband, when I became a father, my whole mindset just changed about life. Now it's like, okay, I need to get out there and take care of my kids. And then you end up becoming a father to other kids, because you're like, wow, I'm a father to my daughter or my son, but there's other kids out there who don't have this. I need to get out there and make sure they're getting what my daughter's getting. That's another level of responsibility that God will bless you with. So what else are you, some more perspectives on, like, fatherhood, man, or being a husband? For those new husbands and soon-to-be fathers out there, what do you got?
Man, I don't know the exact quote. There's another phenomenal book. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, yeah.
You probably read that one. And I don't know the exact quote, but, he says somewhere in there that's like, your partner in life, your husband, wife, like, they are going to be the thing that, takes you to, your highest level of yourself, or they're gonna really drag you down and be an anchor for you, right? So I just like, my number one thing with me and my wife, and we exchange wedding vows, custom wedding vows to this. And one of the things that was most important to me is that she just always support me, you know, because like I'm always growing, I'm always expanding, I'm always doing something new, right? And it might seem a little wild to some people. That's just like who I am, right? And she's been through that 10 times, you know, for as long as we've been together since high school. And, you know, she's just always there to support me. So for me, I view my wife as my number one investment, my number one asset, you know, and just like anything else, you gotta invest, you know, time and love and all these things, you know, communication, all these things that create a great relationship. You have to invest that into each other, right? Just like anything else, whether it be like your health and fitness, your spirituality, your business, like you have to make investments in these. And I don't think there's any more important investment than your significant other, right? Because that's the person you're building your life with. That's the person that you're raising your kids with, right? It's just, I don't know what's more important than that.
That's the most one of the most important relationship to maintain. You know, for me, you know, keeping God in the forefront, wife, kids, community, my health, but always keeping that. And Jocko talks about this a lot too. I follow and I like to use his examples because it didn't come from me. He talks about the leadership capital. You know, it's like a bank account. If I'm always being negative, yelling at you, counting the flaws and what you did or didn't do, I'm draining my leadership capital. I'm not getting any influence from anyone around me, my friends, family, people I've been called to serve. But if I could be open-minded, trustworthy, respectful, be a man of my word, stay disciplined, listening to what other people have to say, then I'm building my leadership bank account. And it's mutual.
Right.
And if we could operate from that perspective, man, we could accomplish so much in life together, not just by ourselves, but together. But before we close out, man, this was a great conversation we had, man. I love the conversation. We need to have you come on again here. But you selling homes, and we can say to those people out there might be looking to sell their home or buy a home, how can they contact you?
Yeah, my name's Keaton Hutchinson. I'm at PJ Morgan Real Estate. I help people, you know, buy, sell, invest in real estate. If you ever have any questions on anything regarding those things, I'm happy to set up a phone call as well. Tim's got my contact information. I'm happy by him, like to give that away. Whether that's like my email, my phone, my personal cell is always on me. Anybody that needs real estate, I always give that out. So yeah, if there's anything I can do for you, whether that's real estate related or not, feel free to reach out. You know, I'm just here to help, just here to be of service. So
amazing. We'll clap it up for my brother Keaton, man. You are one of the wisest men I've had the opportunity to connect with. You're a great father. You're a great businessman. You're a great leader. Just a great person, man. And I pray that God continues to open up more doors for you to succeed, man, and to pursue everything in your heart. I know the path for the good man, the righteous man, is not always easy and clear, but man, the good Lord, if you're doing something good, he will order those steps all the way. So, you know, I'm rooting for you. I'll keep you encouraged. And for those of you, thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the TC Lifestyle Fit YouTube channel. And in the meantime, like we talked about, take care of your gear, and your gear will take care of you.
Tap in with this guy. This guy knows what he's doing. He's a leader, you know. Latch on to him in every way you can. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me, bro.
I appreciate it, Keaton.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Man, that was good. That was good. Wow, you're going to be a father soon.